So in our last video we left off at our while loop that I said I need to iterate those chunk of lines inside my while loop that while variable 1 exists, and it will iterate the code until the value of variable 1 gets to null. So now I was going to paste the chunk of code which I have written earlier. The code I write was that I want my temporary variable is equal to variable 1 modulus 10, and then I want to store my total equal to total is equal to total multiplied by 10 plus parenthesis close plus the temp, and then nextly I will just let my variable 1 divide equal to 10. Here this means that this line means that my variable 1 is equal to variable 1 divided by 10. So I have said that total is equal to total multiplied by 10 plus 10, so I have to give my initial value of my total, right? So total is equal to 0, and I'm going to create a copy of my variable 1 because later in the comparisons I need that variable. Let's just say that my copy of my variable 1 is variable, only var, is equal to variable 1. Now when the code gets out of the while loop, I need to check that if variable 1 is equal to variable then colon, then return true, and else return false. And this is our function for integer value, which I have named it like n palindrome, and for my string function I have write my function with the name of s palindrome. So now I'm going to create a menu in which it will ask the user that what are you going to type, an integer or a string. An integer or a string. So before I create that menu, let me just write the next portion that if I call this function, I need to place this function inside an if statement that I need to check whether this function is returning true or false. So for that I will call this function n palindrome, and I will pass the variable 1 and my variable name variable double one, and if it is equal to true, then it will print is palindrome. And I forgot that I should also add the variable 2, which shows that it is a palindrome. So as I told you that I will only call the n palindrome if the value the user entered is an integer. So for that I need to take input from the user and of an integer type, right? So I will say variable 1 because I have earlier named my variable double one. Variable double one is equal to int parenthesis input and then enter a number. Okay, and now for the menu I told I'm going to print on the screen that enter 1 for entering a number / integer, and I'll do \n. It will take the cursor to the new line and it will say enter 2 for entering a string. Okay, voila. Sorry, \n. Now nextly I'm going to take the input. So I'm going to name my variable choice. That choice is equal to input, and then I'll take the input inside it, saying nothing. I will display nothing. So then I'm going to create an if condition here, that if choice is equal to 1, then it will do this. Right, I will cut this from here and I will put this here. Now else now I've seen that I have forgot to enter the else of my palindrome, so I will enter later. Okay, this else belongs to this if. Okay, this else belongs to this if. Don't get confused. Okay, so else cout else print wrong choice. It will go to the else section if the input is not 1 and it is also not 2. So I have to create an else if statement, right? Elif statement. So I'm going to write elif, then I'm going to type my condition here, that elif choice is equal to 2, then because this elif belongs to this if, so I'm going to place it here, right? And then I am going to cut this little bugger here, and then I will place this bugger here. Oh, I haven't placed colon here. So now I need to print, I need to type the else of my choice palindrome. So I'm going to type else print not palindrome. I'm going to place some spaces here so you guys don't get confused. Okay, this is our code for checking that whether our number or string is a palindrome or not. So hope so. Let's just run it and just hope that there is no mistake in it. So far as there is no mistake inside it, let's just see what happens. Now if I enter a number, wrong choice, it said wrong choice. Why does it send wrong choice? Oh yeah, I get it. It said wrong choice because the input I have taken, it is considering that input as an integer, so as a string, right? So I have to place an int here, inside which I will place the input function or call the input function. Now this time it will not make any mistake. Okay, 1. Now I'm going to enter a number. So first of all, this time I'm going to enter a number which is a palindrome. Now let's just say that I type 22 0 22, and then it says not palindrome. Why? I need to check. I need to check the definition of my palindrome. Initially my total is equal to 0 and I have created a copy of variable 1, while variable 1 temp is equal to variable 1 modulus 10, and everything's fine, dude. Why it is creating such mess? Okay, let's just run our code for a string. I will configure this error later. I'll type 2. Now I'm going to enter a string. So let's just say that I enter pap. Pap is palindrome pap. So this function right here is working correctly. Now I need to configure that what's the problem with my end palindrome, which is checking that whether an integer is a palindrome or not. So let me just pause the video for a moment, and because I don't have much time left. So I searched it on Google and I found out that I have made 2 major mistakes in my AND palindrome function. First of all, my first mistake was that this Python is a very complex and hybrid language, advanced language. Unlike C++, it does not discard the decimal part of the numeric value, right? So I have to discard all the decimal part of the numeric value, so that I have to make it as an integer. So I have played my integer function and I have placed all my conditions and inside this integer function. Then I had stored it inside variables, as you can see. And secondly, my condition was a bit wrong. That my while condition was that while variable 1 is not equal to 0. This was my mistake, because earlier I had my condition that variable 1 exists while it is not equal to null. So I had to change it to this condition. So hope so you guys like the video. So please like and subscribe and send me your queries.